discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people. Eleanor Roosevelt. Welcome to the lounge. Let's go.
Hey, said this is a lounge. Culture and justice, you know you can trust that we holding it down. Well, you can bet we applying that pressure, it come by the pound. Speaking the truth and allow us to do what makes us so profound. That's why we got the crown. Said this is the lounge. Culture and justice, you know you can trust that we holding it down. Well, you can bet we applying that pressure, it come by the pound. We living better no matter the weather, we sticking around. Come see what we found. Yeah, this is the lounge. VSOP for the record, no better. Yeah, this for the wealth. Both of the people are equals, no better to speak for the culture, our needs and our health. Conscious it reign with dignity, giving the keys to victory and being a man. Lift up the culture, protected from leeches and vultures, and speak for who need in a hand. Cause this is the lounge.
Welcome back to the VSOP Lounge. I, of course, am your host, the captain of the cool kids, host of the Grown Man Logic podcast, DeJuan J. And I hope that all is well. Tonight, we're continuing down our series, our Respect series, to talk about the toxicity in the dating pool, in the job market, in the business world. Due to the lack of respect for men, but is it the women's fault? Is it the women's fault? We've talked about responsibility, effort, strength, positivity, and persistence, efficiency. And tonight, we're going to tackle that C. We're going to tackle communication and charisma. But before I do, our drink of the evening, brought to you in this beautiful 14.5 ounce highball glass, available on shopgrownmanlogicpod.com. Shopgrownmanlogicpod.com. Our drink of the evening is a Garibaldi. A Garibaldi. Shout out to my Italian brothers and sisters, because this drink right here, it has the savory and the sweet that you need. Perfect for tonight's conversation. Tonight we have to discuss. We have to discuss charisma and communication. And I'll start out backwards and then we'll go forward. Communication is usually the number one reason for the destruction in relationships, be it office, be it dating, be it sales, be it friends, family. The destruction of relationships come as a direct result of one or both or all parties involved not being able to communicate effectively. But before we get there, we have to discuss the charisma aspect of it. Because the charisma is what draws and what initiates the relationship. It's interesting that these two were paired together, because we're talking about the beginning, and we're talking about the maintenance or the end or the potential end of these relationships. Charisma is defined as compelling attractiveness or charm that draws or inspires devotion in others. Compelling attractiveness or charm that inspires devotion in others. There are 9 qualities that repeat themselves when we're dealing with charismatic people. There are 9. The first one is positive and negative empathy. The ability to feel what other people are feeling. Shout out to the Northeastern Huskies and their debate team. The first rule of debate is being able to, or not rule, but the first key to winning a debate is being able to create an axiom. You and your opposition need to be able to come on one accord to one thing. And this is the beginning of a successful debate on your behalf. You have to be able to come to an agreement on something, and it's known as an axiom. But the same is true in relationships. The same is true in business. The same is true in car dealings, right? We come to these axioms in an attempt to move forward together. But if I don't know where you're coming from, if I don't know where you are, it is impossible for me to reach you and take you to where I need you to be. Or it is impossible for me to teach you to meet me where I need you to meet me. Believe it or not, it's science. It's built in our brain, in the right supramarginal gyrus. I am no psychologist. I am no brain surgeon, clearly. I'm just a successful person with an opinion. Why then have we gone against science? Why have we forsaken science? If this is built into us, we've allowed society to make us numb and focus on the wrong things. So we focus on materialistic things. We focus on BBLs. We focus on the nice cars and stunting money and fraud in the government with PPP loans. We focus on these things, and it's made us numb and given us the ability to shut off our emotions in regards to what other people are feeling and or going through. It's tragic. The second quality of a charismatic person is humility. The most perfect person that ever walked the face of this earth, arguably, is Jesus Christ. But Jesus exercised humility. The Muslims will tell you Muhammad exercised humility. Buddhists will tell you that Buddha exercised humility. People that believe in chakras in the universe and the alignment and astrology will tell you that the universe would favor humility. Because no one likes an arrogant person. It's off-putting. There's no need to gloat about your success. Because it took work. Very few people that have maintained a high level of success are arrogant about it. Because they remember the days, the nights, the hours, the weeks, the months, the years that it took them to get to the level that they're currently at. And as a result of that, it created a sense of humility and a sense of passion and a sense of appreciation for the level of success that they've achieved. Vulnerability. I'm vulnerable. I'm approachable. I'm a person to you. I'm not just a machine. People see me in the gym all the time. I get busy in there. Those of y'all that follow my Instagram, y'all know I get busy in there. But I've never not had time to talk to someone. I've never not had time to advise someone. I've never shunned anybody or turned anyone away who had questions or just wanted to speak or anything of that nature, because it doesn't matter. I remember what it took. I remember where I was. You see professional athletes. Shout out to the great man, Stephen Curry. He signs autographs for children. He goes out of his way during his shoot arounds. Children holding signs, he'll go sign them. Countless stories of role models and super athletes staying behind, signing every autograph, shaking every hand, to not kill dreams. They're reachable. So they're not afraid to tell you when they mess up. And then when you couple humility with that vulnerability, it actually doesn't make you weaker. It makes you stronger. And as a result of that, it makes you a more confident person, thus making you more attractive. A sense of humor. I remember being told once by this old timer, you shouldn't take life too seriously because you'll never get out alive. And he meant it. And the older I got, the more bills that came, the relationships, the children, the job, the stress. Before I was able to put myself in the position that I'm currently in, I allowed stress to weigh me down because I had to get there. Society is putting pressure on you, man, on you, woman, to be this unrealistic figure. I can't even say person. Society puts pressure on us to be machines. So in order to relax, in order to decompress, we have to laugh. We have to have a good sense of humor because, ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, but every lady loves a dude that can make them laugh. When you're being interviewed for jobs, bosses prefer people that they can hang out with, that share a sense of humor with them, because that then builds trust, making you more valuable. They're present in the moment. And this is coupled along with that sense of humor piece, because if you're present and you're in the moment, you have the ability to take something right then and there, right in front of your face, and make it funny. Put your own twist, your own spin on it. And that creates a bond. A bond that you're able to laugh about later. A bond that you're able to revisit when times get difficult. A bond that's in the moment. If I'm out at dinner with friends, you're on a double date. Put the cell phones down. Put the social media down. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I've fallen victim to this one several times. I'm a constant poster of food porn. I'm a constant poster of outfit of the day. I'm a constant poster of here's what I'm doing. I do this. I get paid. That's my motivation behind it. Not excusing it, right? Because I should be more in the moment. So this is one of the ones that I actually struggle with. Let me be vulnerable with you and tell you something that I struggle with. They express genuine interest in everyone. Everybody in the room. You've heard the expression, that guy's the mayor. That guy sure knows how to work a room. That guy knows how to command attention when he walks into a room. It's because that person has taken the time to show genuine interest in everyone. Think like a dog. Think like a puppy. When a puppy comes to the door, it doesn't matter who's at the door. The puppy's excited. They're jumping. Oh no, this dog's a jumper. I gotta put him in the kennel. This dog's a jumper. I gotta put him upstairs. This dog's a jumper. I need to let him outside before, we receive guests. Because that puppy or that dog has a genuine interest in meeting everyone, figuring out what you're about, figuring out your intentions, sniffing you out. And this plays into your charisma because people like people that like them. It's not that difficult. People like people that like them. And for those of y'all who want to know how to develop these traits, you can DM me. You can text the lounge, you can call the lounge, you can DM Grown Man Logic on any social media platform. And book a consultation, book a session. Try it out, take it for a spin. Charismatic people, in addition to all of these other things, avoid narcissistic behavior. And I had to choose my wording carefully there, because I feel like that narcissism and narcissistic behavior are words that get thrown around way too much in today's society. Because unless you're diagnosed with narcissism from an actual psychologist or psychiatrist, you don't have it. You're just an asshole. And that's it. But when you're charismatic, you avoid these things because you want to be likable. You want to be liked by everyone that you come in contact with. You want to be friendly, relatable, humble, positive, being able to empathize and be in the moment with those people that you come in contact with. Narcissists can't do this. They don't have the ability to do this. They don't have the interest in doing this. So they don't. They're generous and altruistic. There are three types of people in this world. Shout out to Dr. Adam Grant for coming up with this. There's the taker, the matcher, and the giver. Now, the taker takes and takes and takes and takes and takes. The matcher matches the energy, and the giver has no problem giving of themselves. Now, of these three people, the most gangster out of all of these people is the giver. Because the giver knows that the bag that they're pouring into other people with, they can get it again. There's more. There's an abundance. There's a confidence that there's more coming. And this confidence is sexy. This confidence is attractive. This confidence allows other people to put confidence in them, thus inspiring them to devotion. The last characteristic of, the last habitual characteristic of a charismatic person, say that 5 times fast, is they're able to reciprocate praise and take blame. When there's a misunderstanding, I used to be the hothead. I used to be the guy to ask people, did they have some kind of problem? Did they have some kind of defect preventing them from getting done what we needed to get done? That used to be me. And then I shifted that. So if there's a problem, now I can speak to people. You know what? Maybe I wasn't clear in my instruction. Maybe we misunderstood one another. Maybe I wasn't clear. Maybe I wasn't, maybe let me explain it a better way. I wasn't being an effective communicator. I'm able to take this blame on myself. My fault or not. Because the end result for me is being relatable and leaving at a common solution and a common resolution, regardless if I'm right or wrong. Because that resolution is what's going to make me happy. That's what's going to make me proud. That's what's going to make you relate to me. I'll take that blame. But I'll also give you the praise, give you the credit. There's a saying that goes, I don't want to be the man. I want to be the man that the man counts on. And that phrase, simply broken down, means that I'll give someone else the praise. I don't need it. I don't need the validation. I'm secure within myself. And because I'm secure within myself, I don't need the validation. I don't need anything from anybody else. And this makes me more valuable to women, to employers, to potential buyers, to potential customers to your business, because they know that you're not in it for personal gain. Let's shift gears a little bit, shall we? And let's talk about communication. There are six major qualities, habitual qualities of effective communicators. Communication is the imparting or exchange of information or news. And these are rather straightforward, so there's no need to deep dive. Again, if you want the lesson, the deep dive, the class, book a session. The information is in the description box below. For those of y'all that are going to catch this on the podcast format, the number to the lounge is 805-738-2766. 805-738-2766. Communication. Communication needs to be honest if it's effective. It needs to be proactive, where we're not putting off the difficult conversations to later. And we have them in a timely manner, so we're able to fix the discrepancy or fix the problem as soon as it comes up. And that way we don't have time to overthink. We don't have time to put our emotions into these things, because once that happens and we create a narrative inside of our head, we're angling the conversation not towards resolution, but to find blame in the person that we felt offended us. Asking good questions. Listening attentively. That's a two-way street. Ask the good questions, the hard questions. There's no time. When I talked about efficiency last week, I quoted the great man Drake. And yes, get to the point. Shout to V Creatives, and shout to the great man Eric, my co-host on Grown Man Logic, when we just had a conversation available on all streaming platforms, The Uncomfortable Conversation. We had a beautiful conversation about getting to the point. Nobody has time to waste today. So ask the good questions. Ask the questions that need to be asked. But then listen attentively for the answer. Don't lead to your own understanding. Listen attentively for the answer and get clarity before you resolve it. Effective communicators are concise, short. We talked about elevator pitches last week on the podcast format, 2 weeks ago on YouTube. We talked about getting the maximum information out with the minimum amount of effort. And the final habitual habit of an effective communicator is that the information is reliable. We hear on cop movies, spy movies, I got this from a reliable source. I heard this from a reliable source. Let your word be it. If you're telling your girl you're coming home at 10:30, be home at 10:30. No later than. We all fall short of this from time to time. This is another one of my struggles. I lose track of time when I'm out. But a phone call, a text will suffice. A heads up, a courtesy. Well, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Am I right, fellas? But the information, what you say needs to be reliable. Don't get caught up in promising things that you know you can't deliver. Because every time that takes a stab and it cuts away at your effective communication. I'm gonna leave it right there. Tonight, we talked about being charismatic. We talked about being an effective communicator. The numbers are in the description box. It's been scrolling on the bottom of the screen the entire time. This has been your episode of the VSOP Lounge. We'll catch you guys next week when we talk about being teachable. Cheers.